it's time to start our new Merlin Mission Magic Treehouse Adventure number 6, Season of the Sandstorms by Mary Pope Osborne. Chapter 1, The Golden Age. Jack put his math homework aside. He opened the drawer beside his bed and pulled out a small handmade book. For the 100th time, he stared at the title on the cover, 10 Magic Rhymes for Annie and Jack from Teddy and Kathleen. For weeks, Jack had kept the book hidden in his drawer, wondering when he and Annie would be able to use its magic again. The book's 10 rhymes were to be used on 4 missions, and each rhyme could be used only once. Jack and Annie had already used 2 rhymes on a mission in Venice, Italy. Jack! Annie rushed into Jack's room. Her eyes were shining. Bring the book, let's go! Where? Said Jack. You know where, come on, Annie called as she ran back downstairs. Jack quickly put Teddy and Kathleen's book into his backpack. He pulled on his jacket and took off down the stairs. Annie was waiting on the front porch. Hurry, she cried. Wait, how do you know it's there? Jack said. Because I just saw it, Annie shouted. She hurried down the porch steps and crossed the yard. You saw it? Actually saw it? Yelled Jack as he followed Annie through the chilly afternoon air. Yes, yes, Annie yelled. When? Shouted Jack. Just now, said Annie. I was walking home from the library and I had this feeling, so I went and looked. It's waiting for us. Jack and Annie raced into the Frog Creek woods. They ran between the budding trees over the fresh green moss of early spring until they came to the tallest oak. See, said Annie. Yes, breathed Jack. He stared up at the magic treehouse. Its rope ladder dangled above the mossy ground. Annie started climbing up. Jack followed. When they got inside, Jack pulled off his backpack. Look, a letter, said Annie. She picked up a folded letter from the floor and Jack picked up a book with a gold cover. Baghdad, Jack said. He showed the book to Annie. Its title was The Golden Age of Baghdad. A golden age, said Annie. That sounds cool, let's go. Wait, we should read our letter first, said Jack. Right, said Annie. She unfolded the paper. Merlin's handwriting, she said. She read aloud. Dear Jack and Annie of Frog Creek, your mission is to journey to Baghdad of long ago and help the Caliph spread wisdom to the world. To succeed, you must be humble and use your magic wisely. Follow these... Wait, what's a Caliph, said Jack, and what's Merlin mean? Spread wisdom to the world. That's a big responsibility. I don't know, said Annie. Let me finish. She kept reading. Follow these instructions. Ride a ship of the desert on a cold, starry night. Ride through the dust and hot morning light. Find a horse on a dome, the one who sees all, in the heart of the city behind the third wall. Beneath birds who sing in the room of the tree, greet a friend you once knew and a new friend to be. Remember that life is full of surprises. Return to the treehouse before the moon rises. M. This sounds pretty easy, said Annie. No, it doesn't, said Jack. All these instructions are so mysterious. We don't know what any of them mean. We'll find out when we get there, said Annie. But first, we have to get there. Make the wish. Okay, said Jack. He pointed to the cover of the book. I wish we could go to the golden age of Baghdad, he said. The wind started to blow. The treehouse started to spin. It spun faster and faster. Then everything was still. Absolutely still. Chapter 2, Nowhere. Jack felt hot. He opened his eyes. Burning sunlight was flooding into the treehouse. He and Annie were wearing long robes tied with cords. They wore white headcloths and pointy slip-on shoes. Jack's backpack had turned into a leather shoulder bag. We look like characters in that book Aunt Mary gave us, said Annie. Tales from the Arabian Nights. Yeah, like Aladdin and Ali Baba, said Jack. Shading their eyes from the bright sunlight, Jack and Annie squinted out the window. They had landed in the spiky crown of a palm tree. It was the tallest tree in a clump of palm trees. Thorny shrubs and sparse green grass grew under the trees. A small spring bubbled up from the ground. Surrounding the clump of trees were miles and miles of scorching sand. This doesn't look like a golden age to me, said Annie. Yeah, and where's Baghdad? Asked Jack. He picked up the research book and opened it to the first page. He read aloud. From 762 AD to 1258 AD, the Arab world had a golden age. During that time, a ruler known as a caliph governed an empire that stretched for thousands of miles. The capital of the Arab empires was the city of Baghdad, an important center for learning and trade. Jack looked up. So the caliph is a ruler, he said, and he probably lived in Baghdad. Yeah, but how do we get there, said Annie. Patience, said Jack. Remember on our last mission, we learned that we have to do things in order, one thing at a time. He read the first part of Merlin's instructions. Ride a ship of the desert on a cold starry night. Ride through the dust and hot morning light. I wonder what a ship of the desert is, said Jack, looking up. Well, whatever it is, I'm sure we'll find it eventually, Annie said slowly, as if he were trying to sound patient. We could just sit here and keep an eye out for a big boat or what, said Jack. Maybe we could use one of Teddy and Kathleen's magic rhymes. Not yet, said Jack. Merlin said to use our magic wisely. We just got here. We used 2 rhymes on our last mission, and we only have 8 left to divide between 3. Okay, Annie broke in. We can only use a rhyme when there's absolutely nothing else to do, right? Right, said Jack. So, said Annie, what do you think we should do? We could start walking, said Jack. Walk where, said Annie. Which way? To Baghdad. Jack looked out the window. Beyond the palm trees, there was nothing but sand and sky. In the distance were lonely dunes. The desert was eerily silent. We could, Jack couldn't think of anything else they could do. We could look in the rhyme book, he said. Jack pulled the book of magic rhymes out of his pack. He and Annie read down the table of contents together. Make a stone come alive, read Annie. We did that on our last mission. We can't do that again. It wouldn't help anyway, said Jack. He looked at other rhymes. Make metal soft, he read. We've already done that one too. Turn into ducks, read Annie. She looked at Jack. No, he said. Mend what cannot be mended, read Annie. Nothing needs mending, said Jack. Well, said Annie, maybe. How about this one? Make helpers appear out of nowhere. Come on, it's perfect, said Annie. That's where we are, nowhere. And we sure could use some helpers. Okay, said Jack. I'll read the line Teddy wrote. You read Kathleen's line in her sulky language. Okay, said Annie. She turned to the page with the rhymes and held the book out to Jack. Jack read in a clear, loud voice. From far beyond sent helpers here. Then Annie read, ha-e by, ha-e here. The second that Annie finished the rhyme, wind gusted in from the desert, blowing a cloud of sand through the window. The wind shook the palm trees. Sand blew into Annie's eyes. Ow, she said. Get back, cried Jack. Jack and Annie jumped away from the window. They pressed themselves against the wall and covered their faces. Gritty sand kept blowing into the treehouse. It's a sandstorm, said Jack. The hot sand piled into drifts all over the floor. Then the wind died down as quickly as it had started. The palm trees stopped shaking. Jack and Annie looked out the window. The air was thick with rainy dust, making it hard to see, but the sand was still. I think it's over, said Annie. I hope so, said Jack. Why did our magic rhyme cause a sandstorm instead of sending us helpers? I don't know, said Annie. Maybe we said it wrong. Jack brushed the sand off the research book and looked up sandstorms in the index. He found the right page and read. The season of the sandstorm begins in the desert in mid-February and continues all spring. Winds can blow as fast as 40 miles per hour. Sandstorms can easily cause travelers to lose their way in the desert. I don't understand, said Jack. We don't need to lose our way. We need to find our way. Just then, the sound of bells came from outside. Jack and Annie looked out the window. Through the haze, they saw 4 riders perched high on the humps of camels. The riders wore brightly colored robes. Behind them, a dozen more camels were tied head to tail and loaded down with saddlebags. As the camels swung from side to side, bells tinkled from around their necks. Annie grinned. Helpers, she said. Oh boy, their rhyme worked, and they got someone to come help them. We'll have to see what they do next on their adventure. Till then, keep reading. Bye, friends.